I think we're on.
I think we're on. That's so exciting. How
How
are you?
exciting. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Hangar's first ever virtual annual meeting.
Indeed, welcome. It's so weird to not be able to see you, but we know that there are at least 75 of you out there already, and we hope there are just more are coming.
That's right. And one of the things that's so exciting is that our meeting, even the people attending are participating from all over the country, including Minneapolis.
I think we're on. That's so exciting. How are you?
And the rest of the country.
Indeed. And I'm in Ithaca, and you're in New York.
Yes, that is right. And we are here because the Hangar has to have an annual meeting every year. And I thought in these crazy times we're living in, it might be nice to start this meeting by reciting the Hangar's mission. So the Hangar Theater creates and presents performances of exceptional quality in New York's Finger Lakes region while training the next generation of theater artists. We inspire our community with work and classes that enrich, entertain, and enlighten. We believe in the power of theater to transform lives.
Indeed, we do. Thank you. Nicely done.
Thank you. I feel very moved by that these days. We are used to improvisation and innovation in the theater, as all theater people know. And so we thought, although the purpose of this meeting is to reflect on the past, we thought we'd talk a little bit about the present of the Hangar before heading the past back.
Indeed. And the other thing that we are used to is a little snappy repartee back and forth, which this technology does not quite permit in the same way. But we do have a new reality. We have things changing very quickly. It seems like some things maybe slowed down a little in the last 4 hours. I don't know. But one thing that I have to announce that is a new thing, if I may, as we get started, is things started getting going by really fast in the last couple of weeks. And as Michael well knows, I announced my intention to retire back in November of 2019. And as things accelerated and needs of my family came to a head with all the other things, my retirement started a little earlier. In fact, it started last week. So it is my honor and privilege to have this be my last show with you, my dear Michael. And would that it were down at 801 Taganic Boulevard, but we're just going to do it this way. So
we're there spiritually. And so, you know, we knew Mary Beth would be leaving. One of the things that we're looking forward to is that we have completed our search for the next managing director. And that person was part of this meeting and will be introduced at the very end of the meeting. So if you're thinking about leaving early, I'll just remind you, we've saved the best for the last.
There you go. Very exciting.
And Mary Beth, I don't need to tell you how much we will miss you and I will miss you and how grateful I am for your service and everything you have taught me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You'll hear more of what I think about you in the managing director's report.
Let's hope those are good things.
Promise.
So the point of the annual meeting is both to review the previous year and to introduce our upcoming artistic programming. As I'm sure you know, everything is a little bit up in the air right now, but I am so excited about the plays we're supposed to do this summer that we're going to introduce them to you anyway, and we have an excerpt from each play along with performers all over the country who will be performing them.
That's pretty cool.
I know, it's really exciting. So the first play we are really hoping to do in the summer of 2020 is Tiny Beautiful Things by Nia Vardalos. And it is a public works project. So it takes professional actors and members from the community and it puts them together on stage. Erica Steenhagen will be featured in this production as Sugar. And we've cast over 30 members from our community, including Mary Bouchard and Christopher Reed, and they will be part of our excerpt today as an example of this beautiful play that will be directed by Wendy Dan. So thank you so much for joining us. And this is an excerpt from Tiny Beautiful Things.
Dear Sugar, my question is about love. I'm at the age where most of my friends are married, and the closest I've ever been to the altar is when I was the best man. I've had 3 relationships, one casual, one serious, and one current. There was nothing wrong with the casual one. I was upfront about not wanting to settle down. The second started out casual, and I ended things when she got serious. So I lost both a lover and a friend. For 4 months now, I've been dating another woman. She seems like she's falling in love with me. I tend to avoid that word, love. I feel like it comes loaded with lots of promises that are fragile and easily broken. My question is, when do I have to take that big step and finally say, I love you? And what is this love thing all about anyway? Signed, Confused.
You're confused. I agree that word love is highly loaded with, I agree with you. Well, that's helpful advice. Dear confused, you certainly must be confused if you're confused. Oh, that's good writing. I will just repeat your word back to you. Please don't let the timetable by which others live their lives affect yours. No. Dear confused, the last word my mother ever said to me was love. She was 45 and so sick and weak she couldn't muster the I or the U, but it didn't matter. That puny word has the power to stand on its own. I was 22 and I wasn't with my mom when she died. No one was. She died alone in a hospital room, and for many years it felt like my insides were frozen solid because of that. I ran it over and over in my mind, the choices I made that kept me from being beside my mother in her last hours, but thinking about it didn't do a thing. Thinking about it was a long dive into a bucket of shit that didn't have a bottom. I would never be with my mother when she died. She would never be alive again. The last thing that happened between us would always be the last thing. There would be the way I got my coat and said, I love you. And there would be the way she was silent until I was almost out the door and she called, love. And there would be the way she was still lying in that bed when I returned the next morning, but dead. My mother's last word to me clanks inside me like an iron bell that someone beats at dinner time. Love, 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 love. I'll bet you think this has nothing to do with your question, but your question and my answer are about love. Love is the feeling we have for people we care about and hold in high regard. It can be light as the hug we give a friend, or heavy as the sacrifices we make for our children. It can be fleeting or everlasting, conditional, unconditional, stoked by sex, sullied by abuse, nourished by humor. The point is, you get to define it. You get to describe the, oh wow, I didn't mean to fall in love, but I sort of did love you appear to have for this woman. You've convinced yourself that withholding one small word from her will shield you from getting hurt. You asked me, when do you have to take that big step and tell your girlfriend that you love her? And my answer is when you think you love her. Be brave. Brave enough to break your own heart. Tackle the motherfucking shit out of love. Look, we're all going to die. Hit the iron bell like it's dinner time. Signed, Sugar.
Okay, so I think it's my turn. This is Jessica Casey. I am the president of the Hangar board at the moment. So thank you everybody for joining us. This is Kristen Burt, who is my vice president. Because this is a weird time and I'm a doctor, we're sort of doing this together right now.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. So let's start with board members. We need to approve our February meeting minutes because we still have to do the business of the board. And there's a way to vote in the chat feature on YouTube. So if you guys can just take a look at that. I'm sure everybody remembers these minutes that were sent out on March 13th. So if you could just kind of vote whether you approve them or not, or abstain. I sort of feel like this is I'm not sure how long I'm supposed to wait for that. So let's move on. So the next thing we'd like to do is say farewell to some departing board members. We have a number of board members, new ones to vote in, and some board members that have left. And I just want to thank you guys so much for the time that you've spent with us and for everything you've given to the Hangar. And I really, really appreciate it. To Mallory David, Luke Fenchel, Ted Melchin, Bonnie Osaji, Margaret Shackle, and Kate Travis. You guys, we have your time and your thought and your care has just been indispensable to us.
We will miss you, but we will look forward to seeing you at the theater.
Exactly, exactly. So Kristen, do you want to talk about voting in the new board members, or would you like me to do that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So we need to vote in our new and renewing board members. We have a whole bunch of people that joined this year too. And you guys can vote via the chat feature or by commenting on the video. So if you could do that, that would be great. Our new board members, some of whom I haven't met yet, and I really look forward to meeting you when times are more normal and we can actually like meet face to face. I'm really looking forward to it. Sarah Danks, Lauren Strohs, Andrea Ippolito, Bernadette Parr, Jamie Perry, and Marcus Terry. So I think we need to vote for those as a slate. If you could do that, that would be wonderful. Our renewing board members are Barbara Behrman, Kristen Burt, and Diane Lausen. And if you could vote for those, that'd be wonderful. And we have one new emeritus board member that we are voting in, and that's Margaret Shackle. Okay. I don't know, you know, this is like, this is an interesting way to do this. I don't think I have anything else to say at this point. How about you, Kristen?
No, just looking forward to seeing everyone in person very, very soon.
Yep. Oh, look at all those approves. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so both Kristen and I will be back a little bit later to talk about other things. Except I don't know who's supposed to be coming now. It's not me.
It's me.
Yay!
I'm here. So it's funny, I'm hopping back and forth between the Zoom meeting and the YouTube, but there's like 10 or 15 seconds in lapse time. So if my comments on YouTube make me feel prophetic, it's because I am. The next excerpt that I'm introducing will be from our first musical this summer, a hilarious comedy about a scary future, if you can believe such a thing, where water is a commodity, a resource in great shortage, and all of wealth distribution is determined by the people who have access to clean water. And this number is featuring Craig McDonald. Craig is from our very own town of Ithaca and will be featured in this production this summer as Caldwell Cladwell. Craig, whenever you're ready, please.
Let's take it. I'm here to talk about winning because, believe me, I know all about winning. I saw gray skies foreboding and cold. I saw gray skies and made them rain gold. And I thought those skies are so bleak to behold. They're still gray, but they pay for your salaries tenfold. I took this town that formerly stank. I took this town and made it smell swank. I made Flushing meet flush at the bank. I'm the man with the plan, and so who do you thank? Me, Mr. Cladwell. We're so thankful for that bank full of dough. I'm a Toreador, and it's cash that I gore. And can you ask for much more? I really doubt it. I got good numbers, Mr. Cladwell. I've got riches, which is just what you need. So say hail to me, the Duke of the Ducats. I can bring in bucks by the buckets. I'm the master at making money, faster than the bees making honey. I'm Mr. Cladwell. You know, people don't realize that large monopolizing corporations can be such a force for good in the world. That's sad. All those coins that we take from the throng, they end up here where those coins all belong. Lots of coins make my company strong. Charging fees as I please is my right. It's not wrong, no. I'm not greedy as some make me seem. I need funds for my big research team. Men in lab coats and test tubes with steam. What it shows, no one knows. But hey, still I can dream. Whoa, Mr. Cladwell, finding answers, curing cancers of doubt. My ambitions are high, but I'm humble as pie. What a wonderful guy. You gotta love me. It's all so perfect. Mr. Cladwell, so darn godly, oddly perfect and right. I'm continental yet unpretentious, fancy-free yet so conscientious, wise but trendy, tough as a mountain. Goodness flows from me like a fountain. I'm Mr. You want to know how I'm doing to get myself 10 out of 10? Cladwell!
All right. Thank you, Craig. That was great. What a pleasure. You're just down the street, but it's like you were in New York. We'll see you this summer. I look forward to that. I believe this is the time that we launch into our awards section of our program. And there are different people who I think are going to come up for that as well. I know I have the pleasure of giving the first award to, which is the Agda Osborne Award, to MJ McKinven. And I don't know if we get to see her smiling face up here. I know she was on here. There she is. Hello. So I get to say a couple of words about MJ, which is my great pleasure to do. I met MJ about 1.5 years ago at a picnic, and we had a nice time. We had a nice chat. She's a Cornell alum. She came back to Ithaca in retirement, in which I will join her, and we are looking forward to many things together. And after I had met her, maybe a month or so passed, and she sent me an email and said, could we have an adult beverage? And I said, well, certainly, that sounds delightful. And we had a nice time in a chat. And she explained that she was really looking for a volunteer home that would be a regular commitment, and that she chose the Hangar Theater. And what did I think of that? And I thought that was pretty darn splendid, because MJ has many gifts and talents: editing, organizational development. She's funny, and she is tireless, and no job is too low. And we had some low ones over the summer. We had some big challenges, so some big cleanups. And so the staff all agreed that the Agda Osborne Award should go to MJ for steadfast commitment to the Hangar, serving as a volunteer extraordinaire who lovingly jumps into any task, ranging from erudite editing to archival organization to vile storage unit cleanup. MJ, we love you and congratulations.
Thank you. Well, thank you. You know, I love all you guys too, and you've been so welcoming. You're the best.
You're the best. Thanks so much. All right, so this is gonna, so there would be applause and she would go off the stage, and then we'd call up the next person who may or may not be here, but that's all right, because I still have the honor of telling this year's Philanthropic Angel Award. And the award this year goes to Mr. Dale Flynn, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for several years. Dale is the son of a wonderful man, David Flynn, who was on the Hangar board for many years, and I'm sure many of you know him as well. So I will read what we wrote for Dale. We've given this, the staff chose this award for Dale for comprehensive understanding of philanthropy as demonstrated in word and deed to move the Hangar toward a bright future. And for serving as the next generation of the Flynn family to bring great ideas and concrete solutions to the Hangar community. The Hangar is very fortunate to have Dale now serving on the Board of Trustees. And so I congratulate and thank Dale. And that's the end of my awards, but I know there are others coming from other people next.
One of the things we're finding is that when the person speaking can slow down a little bit and cue Kat that the next person should be speaking soon, it allows her to call the cue, much like a stage manager would during a live performance. So I am honored to be presenting 2 awards. The first award is the Tom Niederkorn Award for Extraordinary Contributions to Artistic and Educational Programming at the Hangar Theater. And I am thrilled to present this award to Sandrine Erdstrom. Sandrine has been part of our Young Professional Company since its inaugural year. It's our company for young people embarking on their professional careers. And every summer, her work has been extraordinary. I've loved getting to know her and to work with her. And this last summer, we just all really felt like nobody else could possibly take this award because I'll just read the description, and I think that will do the work for it. To Sandrine Erdstrom for exemplifying the Hangar ideals of consummate professionalism, courtesy, and extraordinary talent, and undoubtedly breaking a record by performing in 5 main stage productions in 1 calendar year, consisting of approximately 500 rehearsal hours, 70 different performances, and teaching in our Next Gen program on top of it all. The Hangar is thrilled to award Sandrine Erdstrom with the Tom Niederkorn Award for Extraordinary Contributions to Artistic and Educational Programming at the Hangar Theater. And this is where we all clap, 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 because you're amazing, Sandrine.
Thank you so much. It's to even have gotten the chance to work that many times in 1 year at Hangar is the award or the reward itself. So I'm so grateful for this. On top of that, honestly, it's just been a gift of a million master classes and everything from dance to British comedy to puppeteering. I think the main thing is that Hangar over and over again hires such good people that on top of everything that I've learned in the world of theater, I've learned the kind of person that I want to be in the theater world going forward. Constantly, it's been a room of people in such different places in their careers. When you have such seasoned, experienced professionals, and then someone like me who's in the beginning of their career and there to learn. And Hangar has always had such an amazing sense of respect in the room that's so encouraging to new ideas and taking chances and growing as an artist. And I am just so thankful for that. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this award and for all the experiences I've gotten to have. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandrine. It's so nice to see your face. I think Sandrine gets the award for being furthest away. She's in Washington State right now, where she was rehearsing a production of Thoroughly Modern Millie as Millie when the pandemic hit. So things, we have to catalog the things that we're grateful for, and one of them is that you can participate in the virtual meeting.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes.
The second award that I am honored to present is the Erin Aljo Schlother Inspiration Award for a young person who has made a remarkable contribution to the life of the Hangar Theater and sparked the contribution of others. And I have been really honored to get to know Erin's parents during my time as artistic director of the Hangar Theater. And when we were thinking about who to give this to, we thought about what are the values of the Hangar Theater, and I wanted to recite 5 of the values. The values are gratitude, generosity, equality, quality, and integrity. These are 5 of our most dear values. And it became really clear that the young people who earned them this year are Sam Simmons and Knox Travis. Sam and Knox were both featured in our production of Kinky Boots this last summer. And, you know, Kinky Boots was an amazing production, as anybody who saw it once or twice or 6 times can attest. But the thing that made it really amazing was what kind of care everybody took of each other in that room. And I saw Knox and Sam taking care of each other and taking care of company members and being taken care of them and proving that theater has no age. So Sam and Knox, thank you so much for being with us and for accepting the award.
Thank you, Michael. I really appreciate being able to have this award, and to be in the production of Kinky Boots. That was like a life-changing experience that I think helped set me up on my career of acting. So thank you so much for that.
And Knox, I'm sure your parents won't hold it against us that you've decided to pursue acting professionally. That's not our fault.
They're losing it.
Hey, Sam, do you want to say something, Sam?
Being in the production of Kinky Boots really helped me understand who I wanted to be as an actor.
Sam, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you both so much for being here and for accepting your award and for being such valuable members of our community.
Thank you, Michael. Thank
you. Yeah, wow. So I think the next thing that happens now is that I introduce the excerpt from Secret Garden, and that's what I'm going to do unless somebody tells me otherwise. So, oh no, there's the Education Award. Before we get to that, of course, there's the Education Award. So thank you, Shirley, for reminding me of that.
Did you want to watch the rest of this while you're eating? Or do you...
Hi, everyone. I'm meeting you quickly now, and I'll talk a bit more later when we do the education report, but it's such a strange way to meet the greater community, the greater Hangar community. But I'm so glad to be present even in this very virtual way. And it feels fitting that this award comes after we just got to hear from 2 very inspiring young people, because this award it's a new award. It's the Camilla Shade Teaching Artist Award, which recognizes a Hangar Theater educator who has demonstrated a positive impact on the lives of students and who embodies the highest standards of the profession in memory of gifted actor, director, teacher, and playwright Camilla Shade. And I'll first say that award is going to Chantel Daniel. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. But first I want to say I started, I never had the chance to meet Camilla, but I will say, as I have gone into classrooms and worked with our wonderful group of teaching artists that we have at the Hangar Theater, I don't think an encounter has gone by when someone has not mentioned Camilla. And I started right around the time when the ceremony, sort of the evening honoring Camilla happened, and to have that experience, to see people speaking with such a level of love and respect and admiration that one can only hope that 1 or 2 people feel that way about them in life. But clearly, Camilla had a whole community who felt this way about her. And that's why we decided to create this award. I have had the chance to work with Chantel, and it has been delightful. So I've been immensely impressed by her creativity, her enthusiasm, her ability to communicate with and inspire students, and her truly infectious energy that she brings into the classroom. She's been teaching theater for over 20 years, and for 14 on and off with the Hangar Theater Project 4 program. And earlier this year, Chantel shared a quote with me through another context that I'd asked for, where she said, "I've worked with all ages and adults. My journey has been guided by the students I have met, worked with, and been inspired by, and my mentors I have had the privilege to teach with and learn from. My goals are to reach every child in the room, connect with them in some way, and have them feel positive and safe to create, be, and imagine." This is super clear and evident through her presence in the classroom. I've seen it when I've gotten to step in and observe her teaching. It's clear in the final performance pieces she creates with the students, which if you haven't seen a Project 4 performance, you should, and reach out to me. Board members are notified, but anyone else can let me know and I'll tell you when you can see one. And I'm so honored to have the chance to work with Chantel. So thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you for that. And I'm overwhelmed with emotion for many reasons. And I just want to say thank you. And I feel that way. I feel so lucky to work with students every day, and they teach me so much. And I also just want to put a big thank you out to Camilla. She was one of my dearest mentors, closest friends, creative spirits, and I learned so much from her every day, how to be a teacher and how to be a person and how to be creative. And I learn from the students I work with every day and the teachers who support this program and support me being in their classroom. So I would like to thank you, Shirley and Michael and Mary Beth and everyone for having this program. It's an excellent one, and for the students and the teachers. And I feel lucky to be able to do this work. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And just want to, one last thought out to Camilla for all the people and students she touched and the teachers that she mentored and inspired. Thank you.
Her legacy is strong and powerful. That has been so clear to me. So thank you, Chantel.
Thank you. It's an honor. Thank you.
I wish everybody, I just put this in the chat box, but I wish everybody could have seen Chantel in rehearsal for the first year of Christmas Carol. She's not only a great actress also, but the way that she worked with the kids, it was so respectful and so inspirational. And you just got to see exactly the kind of teacher and mentor that she is. So now I believe I introduced the excerpt for Secret Garden. Our third show this summer is The Secret Garden, based on the classic children's story about a girl who heals a family and brings them together. And it's starring Alia Nicholas, who is from Rochester. Alia is 12 and a half years old, and she got the part after extensive local auditions and callbacks. The excerpt was musically directed by Oliver Scott and directed by Susie Akins, who will be directing the production as well. Alia, it's great to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Whenever you're ready, please.
When a thing is wick, it has a life about it. Maybe not a life like you and me, but somewhere there's a secret streak of green inside it. Now come and let me show you what I mean. When a thing is wick, it has a light around it. Maybe not a light that you can see, but hiding down below, a spark's asleep inside it, just waiting for the right time to be seen. You clear away the dead parts so the tender buds can form. Loosen up the earth and let the roots get warm. Let the roots get warm. Come a mild day, come a warm rain, come a snowdrop a-coming up. Come a lily, come a lilac, come to call in all the rest to come and see. You give a living thing a little chance to grow. That's how you will know if she is wick, she'll grow. So grow to greet the morning, free from down below. When a thing is wick, it has the will to grow and grow. Calling all the rest to come, calling all the world to come. all through the darkest nighttime. It's waiting for the right time. When a thing is wick, it will grow.
Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be following all of these wonderful words and performances by young people. And as I was watching Aaliyah perform that song, I remembered, I think I saw that show on Broadway when I was a little bit older than Aaliyah, and just was so amazed to have a story told through the eyes of young people. And that doesn't happen that often in such a deep and truthful and respectful way. And I think that Secret Garden is going to be such a wonderful opportunity to have that. So thank you. That was really beautiful, Leah. So I'm the new as of September, so not so new anymore, but Associate Artistic Director / Education Director here at the Hangar Theater. And I'm now sharing our Education Director report. Just making sure that our stage manager is saying that's what I'm supposed to be doing, which is true, I am. So just to tell a little bit about one of the first things I did when I started in September is I actually articulated an education mission for the Hangar, which we hadn't officially had before. We'd carried over the mission that Michael shared at the beginning of the meeting, but I wanted to put into words a specific education mission that both aligned with our overall mission and also would help guide our choices as we re-examined and revisited some of our landmark programs and also included new programs. And so I'm just going to share that mission with you as well. And let's see if I can actually do this. So our official now mission is the Hangar Theater educational programs aim to inspire a lifelong love and appreciation of the arts through meaningful interaction with performance, creation, and artistic expression. Nurture empathic, thoughtful relationships and interactions between young people by making space for collaboration and communication. Help individuals of all ages express their most authentic and joyful selves through theater, music, and movement. And support artistic choices that embrace a diversity of perspectives and promote attitudes and actions that encourage more equitable power, access, and treatment for all individuals. And we're seeking to, stay true to that mission as we go forward with our educational programming. I'm going to just share some numbers that we have so far that we have from 2019. And these are all in our annual guide as well, if folks have that to look at. So I'll just share them here as well. In 2019, there were 146 registered students for the Next Generation School of Theater. That's our educational programming, which resulted in a 37% increase in tuition revenue over the numbers we had actually for 2017. And we were also able to provide over $6,000 in Next Generation scholarships to students in the program. Project 4 in 2019 involved 10 participating schools, which means 32 different classrooms. And those are in Dryden, Ithaca, Newfield, and Trumansburg school districts. We had 4 Hangar Day visits, which include theater tours and performances in the space. And we had involved 12 different teaching artists in the programs. We had our winter break-a-leg program in February, and our camp session was great. It was really successful with students working together to create a really lovely performance inspired by Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. And I actually have a photo to share from that. The photo quality is not great because I'm working from my laptop and not from our office computers, but forgive me for that. And we had a great group of over almost 20 students come together and create this together with our teaching artists for a really robust session with higher registration numbers than we have had in the past, which was great. Our lineup for our summer Next Generation program is a little bit new, and that's reflecting a deep dive that I took into the numbers of our previous registrations and really aiming to focus on what turns out to be, if you look at the numbers, our target audience for our education programs currently is the 7 to 13-year-old crowd. So we're really trying to put as many resources towards that age group as we possibly can, and also to do all we can to create fuller, more complete artistic experiences for all the young people participating in our Next Gen programming. And we're still hopeful, we remain hopeful that we can see this new vision through to fruition. Finally, I'm going to talk about our lineup for our Kids Stuff programming. And we've got that there. And let me just make sure that. Oh, okay. All right. So our Kids Stuff is. All right. I'm going to just say it because I think I've overdone my technology here. Kid Stuff, we have Elephant and Piggy. We are in a play by Mo Willems and Deborah Wicks LaPuma, in which Mo Willems' lovable characters, Gerald and Piggy, everyone's favorite cautious elephant and enthusiastic pig, explore the meaning of friendship. If parents out there probably have heard of Mo Willems, he's actually doing a wonderful service right now. Through the Kennedy Center website, you can see he's doing doodles with kids every day. So if you haven't checked that out, I encourage everybody to check that out. And it's a musical, which we haven't done for a while, so we're gonna give that a shot. And it's just a really fun and wonderful story and characters and show. Then we have The Little Mermaid, adapted by Jacqueline Goldfinger, which is an adaptation of The Little Mermaid, a kind of new and creative and sort of feminist take on the story. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, adapted by Jacqueline Lawton, which of course revisits the Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion set off on an adventure of a lifetime down the Ithaca-inspired Yellow Brick Road. If you didn't know that, that some believe that indeed the Yellow Brick Road was actually in Ithaca. And then Stu's Famous Martian American Gumbo by Matt Barbeau, which is a play about a Martian who comes to Earth and works with a diverse group of friends to create the ultimate Martian American special food. And it's a wonderful story where several young people come together with the foods from their own personal backgrounds to create this special food for this friend they have, this Martian friend they have. And then our Kid Stuff Next Gen musical is Madagascar, a Musical Adventure Junior by Kevin Dalagila, George Noriega, and Joel Samayan. Based on the DreamWorks movie, super fun show about a group of animals who attempt to escape from their home in the Central Park Zoo. And that's going to be, of course, performed by local students from the Next Generation School of Theater. So we're really excited about that as well. One of the things that is super important to me, well, what I said from the beginning of approaching the Kid Stuff programming was that I wanted to look for recognizable stories and characters, but fresh and new perspectives in the way we told those stories. And these all fit that bill. The plays are filled with joy, a sense of creation and discovery, and each provide an opportunity to have an active conversation about how we as humans can better move through the world with compassion, care, and curiosity. Expanding representation in the voices we produce in Kid Stuff was also really important to me. And I do wanna note from the number perspective, we're nearly at 50% representation for female and non-binary voices in the Kid Stuff series. And we're actually well over 50% Latinx and Black writers in this series, which to me is a really important value as well that very much aligns with our mission. So thank you all. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to everyone. And I look forward to meeting everyone in person next time, I hope, fingers crossed.
Thank you so much, Shirley. You know, Shirley is, I was going to talk about her a little bit in the artistic director report, but this feels like such a natural time to do it. She is an incredible addition to our team. She came from Washington, D.C., where she spent much of her adult career directing at many of the most prestigious theaters there, as well as working as the associate artistic director and acting artistic director at Theater J. She's somebody whom I knew through professional circles before she came to the Hangar Theater. We are extraordinarily lucky to have her in both of these capacities. And in fact, I asked Shirley to direct one of the plays this summer, which is Outside Mullingar. And we were waiting for the right time to announce it. And I guess this is the best thing, is that, like, God willing that we're still able to do this play this summer. We, the way that I found this play, that it was sent to me by Kate Hamill and her husband, Jason O'Connell, because I asked them, I said, I'd really love to have you come to the theater and be in something. We assumed it would be in one of Kate's plays, but they said, you know, we went to see this play together and we thought we'd have a really fun time doing it. So I'm sure you all know Kate from, she's a playwright and an actor who grew up in the Ithaca area. We produced Pride and Prejudice and Little Women. And she went to Ithaca College and is one of the 10 most produced writers in the country. And her husband, Jason, how long have the two of you been married now?
2 months.
Wow. Well, it can only get better. Jason is an actor whose work I've admired for over a decade. I started watching him. He was the leading man of the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival. And most recently, I had the pleasure of seeing him perform Salieri in Syracuse Stage's stream production of Amadeus. And so it's such a pleasure to have the two of you here. And this is a play, it's a romantic comedy by John Patrick Shanley set in Ireland about two people who've known each other their whole lives and have grown up on adjacent farms. And there's a small tract of land between the two farms that they fight over.
That's it. So you're lucky then.
Am I lucky?
Can't sell without the right of way. He's too cheap to give it to the church, so you'll come to it by default.
Unless your mammy sells it back to him now that your dad's gone.
Why would she do that?
Well, it's the right thing.
I don't know.
What you do? It was part of our farm for well wide of 100 years.
And then it wasn't.
It does your place no good.
I think it does.
You couldn't graze one heifer on that patch. Half of it's taken up by fence.
Do you mind it so much?
I do. At the first gate, I see my father's stupidity, and at the second, your man's greed. May you rest in peace.
Greed, is it? That little bit cost us £200.
Even 30 years ago, £200 was nothing.
It was £200. He could have bought himself a new shotgun.
God love him. Him with the shotgun. Oh, he'd go after the crows like Satan.
He loved hating the crows.
He did.
He was perfect.
He was. He was. Do you hate me?
Why do you ask?
I hear you hate me, your mom said.
Well, she's talking a lot tonight, isn't she? I don't hate you. I just don't like you.
Why not?
I'm fed up. You're a bit of a lump.
How's that?
You never do anything.
I work all day and half the night.
To keep things going on the way they already were, but where's your stamp?
I'm not in the business of stamping. I'm in the business of carrying on what was going on when I stepped onto the bus.
But then it's like you're nobody.
I don't need to shout my name. God knows me. I'd soon go unnoticed.
But you have to push back, man, now and then. They'll eat you alive, the people of this world. You can't let people, Tony or no one, destroy your chance. Go in there and face them down.
I don't like a fight.
Who does?
Half of Ireland, just not me.
See beyond the fight to the prize then.
It's not in me to live that way.
So you'd let him run ruin over you?
Maybe, I don't know. Get out of this place, why don't you? The land isn't holding you.
It is, though.
Don't be a lump yourself. You saw the white heather. Let it be a sign. Get past Mullingar. I'm useless, but you're not. Go somewhere and set up fresh.
I'll do what I want, and you can go to the devil.
What are you hot about?
Trying to push me out?
I'm the one on the point of being driven out, maybe.
Maybe. Have you ever seen Swan Lake?
What's that?
A ballet.
A ballet? I've never seen a ballet.
All right. I'm the White Swan.
When did you see a ballet?
My dad took me to one.
It doesn't sound like him.
It was him. He took me to Swan Lake and he told me I was the White Swan, and so I am.
I thought you hated birds.
Just crows.
A man like that at the ballet. Guess I never knew him.
To watch him walk was to know there was grace in the world. He had the blood of kings in him.
He kept his counsel like a king, that's true. No one knew his mind.
I did. He wasn't much of a talker, but he always had his reasons. And so do I.
Thank you so much, Kate and Jason. I got a little too excited just watching you to get my video back on. And like Michael, I also enjoyed seeing Jason in the streaming performance of Amadeus. And it's a thrill to see Kate again. As about a year ago, we had one of our special events, and it was to honor Kate Hamill. And as I was sewing masks this week, because one of my other things I know how to do, so I realized that the thread that was on my machine was from the jacket I had made a year ago to go to that wonderful event. So it's all coming back around together. And so with that preamble, I will start into the managing director's report, my last one. Some of you may recall I came in October of 2017 as the interim managing director, then became the managing director about 2 years ago from now in March of 2018. And my reflections now will be about 2019. And so some of the highlights, I really do encourage everybody to take the time to look at the annual report. I believe it was in the invitation. It's probably on the Hangar website. Also by now, I did not check that. But you know, a lot of effort went into putting that annual report together. If we were seeing you in person, we'd be handing it out to you. Thena Gitlin assures me by our technology chat that indeed it is available on the website, and they're beautiful pictures. And more numbers than I'm going to go through this evening if you're more data oriented. So a couple of the highlights related to the financial picture of the Hangar Theater. In 2019, we finally received the final tranche of the award given in 2017 by the New York State Red Sea Regional Economic Development Council for the 3 years of a production of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, as well as a revitalization of the website and a lot of marketing. And it was, I believe, in December of 2019 that we finally got the last penny from the state of New York. And so that was, and we were very grateful for that. We also, once again, exceeded our sponsorship goals in 2019 as we did in 2018. And I just want to have a special thank you to all of those community members, business owners who do make the Hangar what it is as sponsors and advertisers. It makes a huge difference. It's one of the wonderful things that can support our operational costs. They're not restricted and really brings the theater to life. So we did that. We had also increased some of our finances because we really focused in on group sales in 2019, and that's also a goal in 2020 as well. And part of that was strengthening our connection with the Tompkins County Chamber of Commerce and the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So I'd like to give a big shout out to all of them for working with us so that we can market the Hangar and its education and, of course, productions in the summer into a broader base than just Tompkins County. That's very important to us. Also financially, you know, we continue to be a year-round theater. Coming into 2020, that is the 10th year that it's been a year-round facility. When I was the development director at the Hangar, we did the Hangar for all seasons, and it has indeed been a Hangar for all seasons of the year throughout the year. So highlights again in the annual report talk about the number of shows, renters who have been in the house. Sadly, many, you know, this is the time of year in the spring when DSP shows and some other really fun rentals happen. Thankfully, most of those have been postponed to the fall. So you won't miss out on that great entertainment. It'll just be at a different time. As the managing director, I have the privilege and honor to supervise and work really closely with the administrative members of the team. And we began 2019 by hiring a full-time year-round audience services manager, Alexa Allman, who has brought a great deal to us. She's part of the dream team of Alexa, Thena Gitlin, our marketing director, and Stephanie Waite, our development director. And I'm going to miss them very much. But they became a stronger team throughout the year, and we had a stable staff on the administrative side throughout the year in 2019. So I'm so proud of all the things that they accomplished and that they truly worked as an ensemble and became a team, an ensemble, to make sure that the experience for our donors, patrons, audience members is superb. We sadly, at the end of the year, had to end the year with some restructuring, which we knew was a very difficult thing to do, but it was very important. And that led to the farewell to Walter Weiner, who served as the business director for the Hangar Theater for about 4 years. And so I just want to extend a big thank you to Walter for seeing us through the end of 2019 and wish him well in the future. Which brings me to the board and community highlights. We had Johnson Fellows joined our board again this year, and I mentioned the restructuring. One of our Johnson Fellows, Cassiope Sendiak, had expertise in analyzing job function and interviewed all of our staff members. And she worked with other members of our board to make a presentation about some of the restructuring that we could do and that we really needed to do. And so at a November board retreat, the board made the difficult decision of eliminating the business director position and also of having the administrative offices move from our center Ithaca location. Actually, that move was supposed to happen today. Clearly it did not, because we are all been working remotely for a couple of weeks now, but I'm really proud of the careful analysis and human caring that went into those decision making. It was not easy, but it was important that those decisions be made. We also worked on a strategic plan throughout the year under Jessica Casey's leadership. And you heard a new vision statement at the beginning of our meeting here, also of our vision statement. Those were revitalized by the board, and I'm extremely proud of them for all the work that they put into that, the task force for strategic planning, as well as the board itself. Speaking of the board, we grew the board a lot this year. I'm very proud of that board, and they became a bigger, but also we really focused on representation of different types. The skills that we needed, we now have a lawyer, we have financial experts, we have youth, we have diversity, and we even have men. And that was a group that we really didn't have much before. They've grown to be fond of each other. I've watched them grow as leaders along with the staff, and they're the best. They're my best and last board, and they're my best and last staff. I also really benefited from valuable wisdom from nonprofit leaders throughout Tompkins County. And I just want to thank the XX group that was really founded with the Park Foundation. It's a community of nonprofit leaders. I want to thank my friends and colleagues in Ithaca Rotary Club who have been there for me throughout. And the Hangar has really continued to extend and strengthen its relationships with the city of Ithaca. So Savante, if you're out there, Deb Mullenhoff, thank you. Ithaca College, Cornell University, TC3, and many, many more. We are our community, and we value all of those relationships. So in closing, I want to thank the Hangar for allowing me to have one more big job. As many of you know, I tried to retire 2 years ago. It didn't take. I've had a wonderful time. I am so proud of the staff and the board. And I promised Michael I would say a few things to him at the end of this. I'm very proud of his knitting skills. They are tremendous. So have him show you something he made. But I also want to thank him for reminding me that it's okay to argue. What a joy it has been to take risks with him and to make decisions, sometimes very difficult ones, and to thank him for a whole lot of laughter and a few tears. But that's the end of my report. The details are in the written, well, in the virtual annual report available on the Hangar's website. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I may or may not have been wiping tears from my eyes, which proves that even in this virtual realm, I cry easily. We'll miss you so much, Mary Beth. We'll miss your wisdom and your kindness. And for years at the Hangar and in my own life, I will stop and I will ask myself, what would Mary Beth Bunge do? And I will do my best to follow that advice, be it for relationships or for knitting or for work. So thank you. Thank you so much for your service. The final excerpt that we'll be presenting today is from Queen's Girl in the World. Adara Alston is going to be in our production of Urinetown, but she's agreed to perform this excerpt from Queen's Girls. Thank you so much for joining us, Adara. This is a beautiful one-woman show about, it's a coming-of-age story, a teenage girl in New York City in the 1960s, and her coming of age and growing up and becoming an adult is used as a lens through which to explore the civil rights movement. And Shirley Sorotsky found this play and brought it to us. We're so excited to be producing only the 3rd production of it this summer. And whenever you're ready, thank you, Adara.
It's mid-August. Persephone's dreams come true. She goes to visit her cousin in Canarsie. I sit alone on my stoop, reading the new Nancy Drew Grace bought to help me get through the week. Our block is so quiet that I hear the footsteps before I look up and see a tall, skinny boy who looks about 15 walking toward me. He's wearing dungarees and a red t-shirt, which is too small for him, but he looks good. He's got a Quo Vadis haircut that makes him look like a Roman warrior. He swings a stickball bat with his left hand, and his right pushes a black English racer with handlebars turned down. He has this cool diddy bop walk. He squints and smiles at me. His voice has already changed, and it sounds like melted butter in a skillet. Whew. You know Persephone Wilson? Where's she at? She's gone to Canarsie. Shoot. When'd she be back? A week. A week? Shoot. Where Eddie and them at? Skating. Shoot. I didn't bring no skates. What's your name? Jacqueline Marie Butler? Earl Wadlington from Corona? How come you ain't skating with Eddie and them? I'm reading. What you reading? Nancy Drew and the Mystery of the Fire Dragon. You got any water? Please don't let Grace tell me it's time to come in. Not now. I creep into the kitchen. I think he might like some of Grace's lemonade. Earl Wadlington is the color of a midnight sky and the most beautiful boy I've ever seen. His eyes are diamonds set in black velvet of his skin. I worry that he will be gone by the time I get back outside, but he's there, and he's leaned his English racer against my stoop. His fingers hold the tumbler in my heart. Whew, girl, you make some good lemonade.
Thank you, Adara. That was amazing. This is such a special play. I hope so much we're able to share it with you this summer. And this is perhaps a good segue into my artistic director report. So I'll talk about 2019, and then I'll also use this opportunity to just chat a little bit about how we are thinking about 2020 in these incredibly uncertain times. So in 2019, the Hangar Theater was busy 234 nights out of the year. 125 of those were for Hangar Theater Company performances. Specifically, we sold over 1,200 subscriptions, which defies the national trend of subscription sales decreasing at other theaters. And we sold over 17,000 single tickets to our main stage series. We estimate that the number of audience members who passed through our doors was over 24,000 people. and that we hired over 110 technicians and artists between our designers, our directors, our actors, and our craftspeople. So it was a really thriving summer for us numerically. Perhaps artistically, I found it to be the most thrilling summer that I've been here at the Hangar. We had 4 female identifying playwrights on our main stage, including Kate Hamill, who you saw and met earlier today. We put 2 musicals in the middle of our season, which is an equation we plan on repeating forever because it was so successful. And I'm thrilled to welcome back Jerry McIntyre, who directed and choreographed Kinky Boots, will be choreographing our production of Urinetown this summer. And Aline and Brian, who starred in that production, will be starring in our production of Urinetown, all God willing. Kate's extraordinary adaptation of Little Women was on our main stage. And just earlier when we were rehearsing today, and all of the performers were in the same Zoom call, Kate told Craig McDonald that she took an acting class with him when she was 12 years old and recalled some hilarious piece of advice that he gave her. It was something like, I hope I'm getting this right, like, you have a rubber face, don't rely on it too much. So the Hangar continues to be an incredible place where people from all moments of their careers get to cross-pollinate and work together and make beautiful art. Perhaps artistically, the experiment that I was most excited by last summer and by its reception was our Big Play Festival, which featured over 40 actors from our community in lightly staged readings of American masterpieces. And the response from you, the community, was amazing, from the artists. It was such a joy to be able to put these incredible actors whom I've met during my time as artistic director on our main stage and to hear those incredible words. Many of those performances ran 3 hours and nobody left because the stories were so riveting. And it is perhaps a good reminder of how important it is for us as a society to continue to tell stories during our scariest times. My Facebook feed is a bloodbath of friends who had jobs that they don't have anymore, of people who have been laid off. 3 major summer theater festivals like our own, Oregon Shakespeare Festival, California Shakespeare, and Penn Shakes, have canceled the entirety of their summer season. And these are scary, uncertain times. Sometimes it feels like the fact that we might not be able to make plays this summer feels so small when you look at the global effect of this pandemic. And sometimes it feels to me like this is the only thing we have control over. And so fighting to fulfill the Hangar's mission of making plays and telling stories and creating extraordinary educational experiences for our community is all we can do. So I want to spend a little bit of time just talking everybody through what the summer holds for us, and realizing this is a bit of an exercise in futility because there are so many unknowns. As our board president and pediatrician, just Casey, says, we just can't know. So we are currently, the Hangar just entered what we're calling scenario A. And scenario A is our best case scenario, which is that we can produce our entire summer season as it has been scheduled. So we're still remaining very hopeful about that. Every week, it looks less certain that we can do that, but we're still choosing to believe that we can. Even in this scenario, we have made the difficult decision internally to scale back production costs dramatically. So it won't quite be as lightly staged as the Big Play Festival was. We're still hoping to rehearse the plays fully, to have the actors be off book. But the thing that we present, the final product, will have the set and costume elements of a rehearsal run. And because of the loss of income for March, April, and May, and what we suspect will be a hit in single ticket sales, we feel like this is the only way to financially move forward. And this is our best case scenario, honestly. Unlike many of our peers who've had to lay off or furlough most of their staff, our entire staff is still working. We're working at a reduced time. And we are hoping to be able to get to the summer where single ticket sales will become our lifeline. Scenario B, which we're still figuring out, is what will happen if the first half of the summer has to be virtual. And we don't want to cancel plays and we don't want to cancel our classes. And so part of the experiment of this virtual meeting was to see how are things living in this realm as theatrical experiences. By the comments on YouTube and my own experience, I'm really pleased with what we've learned and how to make this better next time. And we are looking at moving our programming in the first half of the summer and our classes all to the virtual world. That is scenario B. Scenario C is if the entire summer we're still not allowed to publicly congregate and make plays. It feels terrifying to even mention that now, but it is a possibility. And we're looking at all of these possibilities, and we're thinking about what can the Hangar do online, and how can the Hangar just retreat as if hibernating until we're able to share the extraordinary gift and luxury of live performance again. So we're working really hard at all of those possibilities. The other thing we're looking at this year, It's a Wonderful Life, will be our winter holiday show. We better be able to make plays by the winter, because I promise you my waistline cannot handle what being indoors and not being able to go out is doing to me. So we are really excited about introducing that play into our repertoire. And I would just want to end the artistic director report by thanking everybody. When this happened, I spent weeks calling people. Our board members will be calling you, just saying, tell us what you see, tell us what the Hangar can do to help, and how can you help the Hangar. And I have been so moved by people's generosity, by their support during these deeply unstable financial times for everybody. People have opened their hearts to us and giving us ideas about how to move forward. And the contributions that we have received in the last 2 weeks are the reasons that we can make it until the summer, that unlike our peers who have had to already cancel their summer programming, we think we can survive until then. And so I just want to end. A lot of people have asked me, what can you do? I want to tell you, you can buy a subscription. We are going to do everything we can to be able to hold true to our promise to subscribers to make programming this summer. It might be different than you had imagined it. This annual meeting is different than we've all imagined it. And what a riot and joy this has been, right? Once we start selling tickets for real or virtual experiences, buy them. Buy them as gifts. They make great gifts. We are excited to see what innovations this crisis will lead us to. And maybe even when we're allowed to publicly congregate again, we will have learned things about how we can be running more efficiently and more elegantly as an institution. I also want to announce that we have an anonymous grant match that, recognizing the dramatic impact of the pandemic on the Hangar Theater, a generous donor has stepped up to provide a special time-sensitive single gift for $30,000 that will be matched by any gifts made until April 17th. So any money that you give between now and April 17th will be matched up to the first $30,000. And wouldn't it be great if we surpassed that $30,000? And then finally, before we have just a few more small things before we wrap up the meeting. If you are feeling anxious as I am, and feeling anxiety as, a queer, half Israeli, half Armenian, feeling anxiety feels like my birthright, I just wanted to share with you the things that I do. I try to write or journal. I take a deep breath. I try to reach out to somebody who I think is alone to see how they're doing. I make a list of kind things I can do for other people, and I have found this to be an amazing way to get out of my own head and my own anxiety. And then I try to catalog everything that I have to be grateful for. And this theater, this employment, the chance to serve and to continue telling stories during these terrifying times is always very high on that list. So thank you all for trusting me with your theater. I would like now to present our board leadership, Jess Casey, and Jessica will, well, it's such I don't want to take it, so I'm going to give it to you, Jessica. It's such an extraordinary thing to discuss, so it's all yours.
Thank you, Michael. So I don't know how many of you know, I'm sure people have seen Adam Zonder around the theater. You may not recognize him, you just may know him as somebody you see at the Hangar a lot. Adam is the production manager for the Hangar Theater. There he is, that guy. And this is his 25th year with the Hangar, which is amazing. And so I didn't have any idea before I joined the board what Adam really did. Now I realize that sort of the Hangar wouldn't be able to do any of what it does without Adam. We couldn't put the art on the stage that we do without him. We couldn't get the rentals in the space. He just sort of takes care of, if there's anything, I'm going to read Michael. I gave me some notes. He's responsible for all the stuff that you see that isn't an actor. He is, and because I just know the Hangar couldn't be the Hangar without Adam, I'm going to read what Michael wrote for me. It's difficult to think of a theatrical institution in our country that has been as shaped and guided in its development as the Hangar has been for 25 years under Adam. I read that poorly, I'm sorry. Under his tutelage and guidance, we've seen it grow from a summer theater into a full year institution. Many of you know him, but I don't know that, like I said, I didn't have any idea what he did until I joined the board. He helps with concerts and rentals and kid stuff and Wedge, the winter holiday show, the main stage season, all of that. He also has mentored an entire generation of stage managers, technicians, and craftsmen. We bring young actors to the theater in the summer for training programs. We also bring young stage managers and techs and craftsmen and electricians and lights, people that do lights and sound. And Adam has helped train all of those people that then go all over the country and all over the world. We are really, really grateful to him. We want to present him with a small token of appreciation, which none of you will see. Adam had talked to Michael and Mary Beth and said that there was a computer that he really wanted to have to help him do his job well and better, and it was time for an upgrade. And thank you to the whole board, because the board has been able to gather the money that we need to for that computer. So you will get that somehow. That's not somebody handing you a check right now.
Thank you very much, Jess. It's been a lovely 25 years, and hopefully there'll be another 25.
Okay, great. And then next up, we have our staff, and they are going to talk a little bit about Mary Beth and celebrate her retirement.
Great. Hello. On behalf of the Hangar staff, we would like to take this time to thank our past leader and forever friend, Mary Beth Bunge. Mary Beth, thank you for all of the time and dedication that you've given to the Hangar Theater, both as the development director from 2007 to 2011, and of course for your recent role as managing director. It goes without saying that Mary Beth is a force, and this force truly propelled the Hangar forward. Since her time as co-leader with Michael, AKA the era of the MBs, the Hangar has grown its audience and its board, secured new sources of funding, and vastly increased our positive presence in the community. Up next is Stephanie Waite, our development director.
Yes. So for me, I have seen Mary Beth as a mentor from day one. She has been a resource for all things development. We've been through countless grant applications, variety of fundraising events, and many, many committee meetings together. And through that, she has taught me so many things, like the importance of donor-centered fundraising and how to manage a contributed income budget. But her leadership goes beyond the day-to-day tasks of our jobs. She has made us all stronger communicators and prepared us to be future leaders ourselves.
So thanking you for all that you've done and taught us would take quite a while. So we'd like to express our gratitude with some gifts. We're happy to present you and the banjo playing Mr. Bunge with 2 lifetime subscriptions to the Hangar. And also for you, Mary Beth, some knitting needles from Homespun in Trumansburg. Now we know you're an avid knitter, and your skills with yarn are pretty astounding. We've seen some amazing clothing items that you've worn in the office. But your ability to create the tight-knit team that the Hangar has now is also a remarkable feat, and we thank you for that.
Thank you, my dream team, and thank you to Denise McInerney, who is my other sister from another Mr. on this team, and I think she's out there in YouTube land. I know you're trying to make me cry. I'm going to cry after the show. I've decided that I'm not going to cry right now. I love you all so much, and I couldn't be prouder of who you are and who you're becoming. So thank you very, very much to you and the board. And the rest of the staff. My goodness. I think, and there's my Kristen and my president Jessica. And yeah, thank you. It's just been a heckin' ride.
It's been wonderful. And you have empowered me to move forward, as you always say, onward. So thank you, everyone. I feel a little bit of pressure speaking last tonight, but I have something important to say. So as chairperson, the chair of the Managing Director Search Committee and the vice president of the Hangar Board, it is my pleasure to welcome Nicole Ganchar as the Managing Director of the Hangar Theater. Nicole was named after a comprehensive national search. She has a long and formidable career in the non-for-profit arts, most recently serving as the executive director at the Rochester City Ballet. Before that, she worked at the Tulsa Ballet, Pittsburgh Ballet Theater, as well as the Syracuse Stage, where she began her life in the theater as a stage manager and a dramaturg. Nicole is a longtime member of Rotary, as well as the Literary Managers and Dramaturgs of America. She is currently serving as interim executive director at the Louisville Ballet, and she will join the Hangar early this summer. The committee was deeply impressed by Nicole's depth and width of knowledge in our field, her financial acumen, and the experience she brings from every sector of her field. We can't wait for Nicole to join us and for her to become a part of the Hangar and the Ithaca community. We have so much to look forward to, so much to be thankful for. At some point, this distancing will end and we will all be together. So welcome, Nicole.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for the summer. I can't wait to come and support everyone and Michael and his vision and be part of the community.
Welcome, Nicole. I'm so excited that you're coming, and I'm sure we'll have many things to talk about, and hand them on over.
We thought just the three of us would end this meeting by thanking everybody for attending and wishing you love and health and sanity during these crazy times.
Stay
Take
healthy,
care of
everyone.
yourselves.
Thank you all.